What is up, YouTube? Welcome to PanFro Games. In today's video, we have another Riddler Khu leak and rumor update for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet's Indigo Disk DLC. We're going to be talking about a bunch of interesting things regarding particular characters, the story, and a lot of theories as well. And of course, guys, if you like this type of content, enjoy these videos, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new. I really appreciate it. Consider supporting the channel by joining the Pan Fam by hitting that join channel member button below. Now let's begin with Geeta. Now Geeta, we don't know too much about in terms of the story from the base game. We know that she's the champion, we know that she's the leader of the Pokemon League, and she gives people access to Area Zero, but you gotta really earn it. Besides that, we really don't know much about her, and she's honestly a very stale, very stiff person, not a lot of depth to her character at all. Now, Teal Mass did not give us anything for her, but Indigo Disk might give us more information about her. And I think it would be a pretty big miss if they didn't. So I do think that she has some sort of lore connection to the Indigo Disk and maybe even to Terrapagos themselves. Now, looking at her team, it's pretty terrible, and I do hope when we fight her in the DLC that she will have a much better team. But the important Pokemon on her team is going to be Glimmora. Now, Glimmora is the Pokemon, the ore Pokemon, that you only find in areas where there are crystals, right? Glimlet, you can find a couple other areas, but where there are crystals, you will find Glimmora. And Glimmora is found in Area Zero, and also in the Teal Mass DLC, where there is the crystal pool on top of the mountain, you will find Glimmora hanging out there as well. So, this Pokemon is obviously connected to Terra in general, and maybe even to Terrapagos. Now, what could Geeta be doing with Glimmora? Well, one, I want to say this, she does look like Glimmora, straight up. Like, she has the same exact colors as a Glimmora. Her hair is like the same. She has the blue, the gold. Even in her eyes, she has like the yellow dots on it. It's almost like maybe Geeta isn't who she says she is, or there's some sort of this like deceivery going on here. And let's go to the Riddler Khu tweet now. The Riddler Khu says, who's this artist? Do you think similar things will happen in the DLC? Now, to me, this is saying that he believes, or he knows that something is going to happen to Geeta in the DLC. That Geeta will at least have some role in the DLC outside of like nothing like she had in the Teal Mass. Now, this artist did a phenomenal job for sure with this Geeta art. I think this is awesome. This is very dark, and I don't think it will actually happen, but as you can see, like, child Geeta gets, like, infected by a Glimmora, and the Glimmora, like, pretty much takes over her body, and she's sort of, like, fused with the Glimmora in, like, some sort of zombie state, and that's why she looks like this versus this. That's pretty dark. I don't think this is gonna happen, but that would be, one, very cool if it did happen, but two, I do think there is something with Glimmora and Terrapagos and Geeta happening here, and maybe she goes to the deeper parts of Area Zero. She didn't seem to actually go into the parts of Area Zero during the story when we actually fought the AI professor, so maybe this time she'll come down and something is going to happen between her and her Glimmora, which would be really interesting. Maybe this will go back to the Peach Pokemon, Doku Taro. Maybe it'll be connected to that. Considering they're both poison type Pokemon, maybe a Glimmora became Doku Taro. Well, who knows? We'll just have to wait and see, but I do think we're going to see something about Geeta. So let me know in the comment section below what do you think about Geeta, but she's very suspicious to me in general. Now, the next Riddler Khu tweet says, let's battle time travel or imagination, or they don't intend to tell you the results even after the plot ends. So to me, this is saying the story is either time travel, which I don't think it is. And if you checked out my previous video about the secret of Terrapagos, we do believe it's going to be imagination. There's a lot of reasons for it. Or they don't intend to tell us what the results are. Now, personally, I do believe that Game Freak will tell us the exact story plot that was going on for here. I don't think we're going to be getting a third DLC or any other story content after Indigo Disk, and I do think they're going to cap it off, and I do believe it's going to be imagination. I think it'll be very cowardly if they didn't actually give us the true ending or the true like plot point and resolution or the reason why any of this stuff was happening in the story. I think it has to happen, or like, you know, it wouldn't make sense to just say, oh, there's Terrapagos, oh, we caught him, and that's it. I think that would be really lame and lazy. I don't think that's going to happen, though. I do think they're going to explain it to be an imagination storyline. And I think time travel is going to be the big red herring that's going to happen throughout the story of the Indigo Disk. And then it'll be like, oh, never mind. It's actually not that. It's imagination. When we get like a big plot dump from like maybe a Briar or someone else in the story. But I mean, like I said, if you haven't checked out my previous video talking about this theory about imagination, definitely check it out. It was a phenomenal one. Now, the last Riddler Khu tweet I want to talk about is, do you agree on this book, especially the first part? So this is called Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind. So this is very interesting stuff, and I do believe this actually leads more into the previous tweet about imagination or time travel. And I think this is another confirmation that Riddler Khu is saying it is imagination. Now, he's saying read the first part, so like the first chapter. I didn't read it, but a lot of people have been commenting about a summarization of it. And essentially, this person here said, cognitive revolution occurred between 70,000 to 30,000 years ago. It allowed Homo sapiens to communicate at a level never seen before in language. As far as we know, only Homo sapiens can talk about things we have never seen or touched or smelled. Think religions, mythos, fantasies, and things like that. So pretty much this is saying no other creature that we know about has reached this level of language and understanding and cognitive understanding of the world around them and themselves. But also, to take it to the next level, humans have the ability to create things out of nothing, right? So things like religion, things like fantasy, things like imagination. Your imagination is the tool that you use to think up things and be like, oh, okay, like I can think of a red cube in my head and I can completely see it. Things like that, that's in your imagination. Now, going back to the Riddler Khu tweet, do you agree with this book? Do you believe people have the ability to use imagination and think? Well, yes, I do, because we all live through the reality. And I do believe this is what is happening, is in the story with Terrapagos, what some person went up to Terrapagos. It was probably the professor or someone like that. They thought about, hey, I want to see past Pokemon, and then bam, past Paradox Pokemon existed. They thought about it in their head. Terrapagos was the catalyst to make it come into reality, and that's why they all exist. So we are leading up to that story, and I do really wonder what is going to happen in the Indigo Disk. I believe this is probably like, this sounds like very climax stuff to get all this information, but I do wonder if it's going to be like a very short part of the story, if most of it's just going to be at the Blueberry Academy, and then like some crazy stuff happens, like, okay, now we need to go back to Area Zero, visit those last 3 areas of Area Zero, and finish off this imaginary storyline. So we'll have to wait and see. But that's what it seems like with what Riddler Khu is hinting at, that he is straight up mentioning imagination, and then this book, so the first chapter, leading to talk about how humans have the ability to create things out of thin air without actually ever seeing them, smelling them, or touching them. Seems to be our imagination. So there we have it, guys. That is our rumor and leak video update for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, the Indigo Disk. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new. I really appreciate it. Let me know in the comment section below how you feel about this imagination storyline and how that connects the paradoxes to the story of Gen 9. I really appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out and have a good one.